Do you ever have those family birthday memories that live on in family lore for ages? In our family, one of them was when our youngest son was turning 3 or 4, and he ripped open his first present and loudly proclaimed, "Wow, it's what I always wanted." And that was adorable, just because he was a little guy, of course. So we loved that he sounded so genuine and amazed. And I don't even remember what we gave him. I'm sure it was nothing huge. However, what really got us was when he opened the next present. And he said, wait for it, "Wow, it's what I always wanted." And you could probably guess it. He commented in this same way after nearly all of the gifts he received that year. "Wow, it's what I always wanted." To him, those gifts all signified love. This week on The Daily Dose, we are talking about something you might have heard of called the 5 love languages. It's based on a book by Gary Chapman, and he wrote it for the first time over 30 years ago. And in the past years, this book has been updated, parts of it have been rewritten, and he's developed versions of this book geared toward parents and men and women. All of them on the premise that each of us is wired differently to receive love. Each of us yearns to receive love from people around us, no matter how young or old we are. And Chapman would suggest that we all have a primary love language. If you looked up the 5 love languages, if you look it up online, you could even find a free short quiz to take, helping you determine if your primary love language is one of these 5 things: quality time, words of affirmation, physical touch, acts of service, or receiving gifts. Now, I've read this book a few times. I've taken the quiz at different points in my life, and by no means is it a perfect way to figure out yourself or your loved ones. The subtitle of the book is "The Secret to Love That Lasts," and I'm not so sure that it's the magic bullet that prevents us from ever encountering conflict with our loved ones. I don't know that that should be what it is. For example, his categories of receiving love might not be cookie cutter for you or for your partner. Some of the concepts that Chapman suggests might not click at all if you've experienced some sort of trauma in your life. However, I think it's always good at any stage in our life for us to step back and look at the various ways our relationships gel or don't gel. My husband and I have been married for almost 20 years now, so it's important for us to think about the ways that we communicate so that we can allow for our love to change and to grow. In his book, Chapman writes, "Love is not the answer to everything, but it creates a climate of security in which we can seek answers to the things that bother us. We can discover how to bring out the best in each other." That's a good thing, right? Our kids aren't preschoolers anymore, so I want to make sure I'm attuned to their primary love language as they emerge into their teen years. So, with all that said, our hope is that these 5 daily doses, which highlight each of the 5 love languages just briefly, might simply cause you to pause and wonder, what is it like for my loved one to receive love from me? Today, we're kicking it off with receiving gifts. Now, our son, who reacted to his birthday gifts with awe and amazement as a preschooler, he doesn't react quite so exuberantly now, but I do think he sees gift giving as one of the important love languages. And here's the risk, of course, with gift giving. How can anyone afford it? How does it not simply become a materialistic effort? Well, for our son, I truly believe that he just loves gifts, no matter how fancy or new they are. He is the kid that saves every single sticker, certificate, photo, and 50-cent toy from vending machines. Seriously, you can look in his room to see it. I found him some cheap socks that were really funny at Christmas this year, and he wears them all the time. They and these other things, they have a special meaning to him, and he can often remember exactly where he got them. When we remember to give him a thoughtful gift, he recognizes it as our love. So, if you have someone in your life who experiences love through receiving gifts, ask yourself, what thoughtful way could you share love with them? Don't worry about breaking the bank. That is not the point. Maybe you have a talent to write them a song or sketch them a unique drawing. Think back to those times when your child or any child picked you a dandelion. I know this has happened. We see it as a weed, but they gave it to you as a treasured gift. And in relationship to gift giving or receiving gifts as a love language, I invite you also to think about the Apostle Paul's words from 2 Corinthians. Each of you should give what you have decided in your heart to give, not reluctantly or under compulsion, for God loves a cheerful giver. Thank you so much for joining us on today's Daily Dose. We'll see you tomorrow as we look at another one of the 5 love languages. Have a good day.